All right, this just in. According to Fight Hype videos, Fight Hype Boxing, go check out Fight Hype by the way. They did an interview with Oscar De La Hoya and they asked, the first thing they asked him, hey Oscar, what happened? Why were you guys not at the post-fight press conference? Now he gave his little thanks to Gervonta Davis, congratulated him, etc., etc. You know, gave his little props to Ryan. You know, we're proud of you, etc., etc. Then he answered the question. Now, according to Oscar De La Hoya, he was getting death threats, and his security team had to get him out there. According to Oscar De La Hoya, he kept receiving death threats from Tank Davis fans, and they wanted to get him to safety. They did not want to risk the fact that somebody might actually be trying to do Oscar De La Hoya some harm. Now, that could be true, and he said he was getting a lot of them. But this is what I don't get: death threats from where? IG perhaps? And it would have been cool if you would have produced them, but where were death threats? How? Because I'm pretty sure they don't have access to your phone number, but whatever. Let's say he was getting them on IG and Twitter. You would have to be a fool to do that, but let's say that was the case. Bernard Hopkins said something totally different. They actually interviewed Bernard Hopkins, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday. And the interview that they did with Bernard Hopkins, he was saying, because they didn't want to make it, and I quote, well, I don't cuss, but a ish show. They didn't want to make it a circus, because he was saying the way that Mayweather Promotions, more or less, and Team Davis was acting, they felt like they were going to try to embarrass them and make it more about Floyd, you know, getting another one over on Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy. Something similar to what I guess Leonard Ellerby said when he was like, you know, we took all your fighters, Floyd whooped all of them, and it's going to be basically the same thing. He sort of was alluding to that. And I mean, me personally, I can honestly believe that. It sounds realistic. It sounds like, and the reason why I say it sounds realistic, because if you keep losing to Floyd over and over and over again, and PBC and Al Heyman over and over again, whether it's in the ring, outside of the ring, getting fighters, I would be really upset. And we saw Floyd and Tank, you know, I'm assuming they never showed Oscar, at least I didn't see him. But we heard Floyd yell, hey Oscar, hey Oscar. And him and Tank, you know, pointing at him and laughing. I wish I could find that on video somewhere. But anyway, maybe that just was all they could stand and they got up out of there. To me, that makes sense. But for Oscar to say he was receiving death threats from Tank Davis fans sounds crazy, especially considering Tank Davis won. It just don't make any sense to me. Why would, if anything, if you're a Tank Davis fan, you're ecstatic. He just won. If anything, they probably was picking on you, talking ish to you maybe. But them threatening you just don't sound right to me. Now, Ryan would have knocked Tank out. And even then, to me, that's a little extreme. But if Ryan would have talked Tank out, I would have talked Tank. If Ryan would have knocked Tank out, that would have sounded a little more realistic to me if that would have been the case. But that wasn't the case. Ryan got beat. And I'm pretty sure every Tank Davis fan in the world was extremely happy. So I can't see them sitting there making death threats to you. It just don't make sense. So I don't know. But I gotta say this. Looking back at some of their old press conferences, post fight that is. Now, I couldn't find all of the entire press conferences, but I was able to find some clips and go back and review them. It's not totally unusual for Oscar and Bernard to not be there and have a representative of Golden Boy at the post fights. Like the one I looked at last, I think it was the Fortuna one. They had, it wasn't even Eric Gomez, there was a representative from DAZN that was speaking on behalf of that side of the table. So I mean, it's not completely unusual for it to go that route. But now I'm gonna tell you, Joe Goossen on the other hand, what's your excuse? Because I don't think I ever seen a fight where somebody lose and their trainer isn't there. That's bananas. I mean, but normally I would say the promoter is there, but as Bernard Hopkins said in the interview, Eric Gomez is the president of Golden Boy. So it's not like they sent the secretary. He's the president, I think the CEO of Golden Boy. Now, he's not the person you think of when you think of Golden Boy. You typically think of Oscar and Bernard, and heck, even Shane Mosley, and he represents the company in probably a decade. And I don't think he has any ties to Golden Boy anymore. But my point is, Eric Gomez is probably the last person you think of. Most people don't even know who Eric Gomez is. But as I stated, he has done that before. I think with the Tagu fight, I believe, please forgive me, like I said, it's hard getting these post-fight clips because a lot of times they get taken down or whatever because they really don't have a much of a shelf life unless something exciting happened at one. But I tend to believe more on the lines of what B-Hop said. But as I also said, what is Joe Goossen's excuse? So that's pretty much all I got. This head busting boxes on Fight Doctor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Hit me up in the comment section. Let me know who explanation you thought was more on point, Oscar's or Bernard. And what happened to Joe Goossen? He hasn't given us anything. Will he even speak on it? Who knows? But that's my thoughts on it. Give me yours in the comment section. This head busting boxes on Fight Doctor. I am out.